language, or one must memorize 50,000 words, or one cannot speak it correctly.
Either one must memorize, or one cannot speak.
Ah, either or. Then the time is now finished.
I'm in no hurry.
But the lesson is 1 hour. No, another pupil is waiting.
What other pupil?
No other pupil. Then I make a suggestion. I will telephone my lady friend, and she will bring a friend for you. Elsa, a genuine flatter.
Not tonight, Ernst.
But you have not seen this Elsa. Hot stuff, believe me. I guarantee, after 1 minute, you are making a pass after her.
A pass at her.
A pass at her.
Thing is, I've got a date tonight.
A typewriter? But what can one do with a typewriter?
Not very much lately.
Oh, then come with me. We make a large whoopee.
For one thing, I have a budget, and it only allows for a very small whoopee, unfortunately.
Then you are my guest.
Thanks, but I don't think...
You know, it is difficult adjusting to the idea of a poor American. But I tell you a secret. There is no need for this poverty. Yeah, if you are willing, I know a most excellent way to supplement your income.
Doing what?
Well, by taking an occasional business trip to Paris, perhaps for a few days at a time. Nothing more, but it will pay you well, extremely well.
Come in.
Mr. Bradshaw, there is a young lady here to see you, a young lady in a fur coat.
Young lady.
Fräulein Bowles.
Bowles. Oh, Bowles. Ask her to come in.
You are old acquaintances, you and Fräulein Bowles? From London, perhaps?
From the Kit Kat Club last night.
Last night? You are some snappy operator.
Ernst, darling. Would you be a dear and get my bag? It's a lovely Fräulein Schneider. Are these wonderful old pieces? Just put it anywhere. I'll unpack later.
Unpack, but Bradshaw, you did not mention.
I'll just be here temporarily.
I'm sorry, it is not possible.
How much do you pay?
50 marks.
60.
It is not the money.
70.
I can't permit.
80.
It is worth 100, more than 100 marks.
80.
85? Make yourself cozy, Mrs. Bradshaw.
Ah, such a to-do. I will see you Friday for the next lesson. But I tell you something. I think from you, I am taking the wrong kind of lessons. Auf Wiedersehen.
Sally! What's this all about?
Did you guess? I was terrified.
Oh, were you?
What have you thrown me out? Do you imagine how that would feel? Being thrown out twice in one day.
You mean, Max?
Dear Max. And you know whose fault it was. If you hadn't come into the Kit Kat Club and been so dreadfully attractive, and recited poetry, and imitate love. A spot of gin.
Gin?
You've got some. I mean, I think one must.
No, I don't have any.
Oh, well, prairie oysters then.
Prairie oysters.
I practically live off them. It's just a raw egg whooshed around in some Worcestershire sauce. Heaven for a hangover.
I haven't got a hangover. It's quite a coat.
Should be. It cost me all I had. Little did I dream how soon I'd be employed.
What about your job at the club?
Well, that's rather complicated. You see, one of the owners of the club.
Dear Max.
You're divinely intuitive. I do hope I'm not going to fall madly in love with you. In the theater, in any way. Then you're safe, more or less. Though I do believe a woman can't be a truly great actress until she's had several passionate affairs and had her heart broken. I should have let Ernst pay my cab fare. He spent all that money from Paris.
Paris?
He smuggles it in for some political party.
Ernst is in politics.
You didn't know? About once a month he goes to Paris and brings back tons of money.
And he has to smuggle it in.
It's incredibly dangerous, but Ernst is so resourceful. He's discovered the customs people almost never check the bags of non-Germans. So, just before the border, he finds some innocent-looking Englishmen. Or American.
Well, it's hard to imagine an American that gullible.
Hals and Beinbrook. Which means neck and leg break. It's supposed to stop it happening, though. I doubt it does.
Look, Sally, I think it's time that we
Drink.
It's fantastic. You know what this tastes like? Peppermint.
Oh. Well, it's your toothbrush glass. I should have rinsed it. It's your novel. It's in German. Mein Kampf.
It's not my novel. I thought I should know something about German politics.
But why? You're an American. You know, I've never known a novelist, but I'd be allowed to watch you write.
I don't know if I can write with someone on the premises.
And I'm hardly noticeable, really. I'll go out while you're writing. Take long, invigorating walks.
In the middle of the night, and Sally, it's another thing. I'm not crude, at least I don't think I'm one, but I have work to do. I could never explain this arrangement. It's too peculiar.
Peculiar? No, not in the least. I think people are people. I really do, Cliff, don't you? If I want to paint my fingernails green, and it happens I do paint them green, well, if someone should ask me why, I think it's pretty. I think it's pretty, that's what I reply. And so, if somebody should ask about you and me one day, you have two alternatives. And I'd say, yes, it's true, we're living in delicious soup. Or you can simply tell the truth. And say, I met this perfectly marvelous girl in this perfectly wonderful place as I lifted a glass to the start of a marvelous year. Before you knew it, she called on the phone, invited. Next moment, I was no longer alone, but sat reciting some perfectly beautiful verse in my charming American style. How I dazzled her senses was truly no less than a crime. Now I'm this perfectly marvelous girl in my perfectly beautiful room, and we're living together and having a marvelous time.
Sally, it wouldn't work. You're much too distracting.
Distracting? No, inspiring. She tells me perfectly marvelous tales of her thrillingly scandalous life, which I probably use as a chapter or two in my book. And since my stay in Berlin was to force creation, what luck to fall on a fabulous source of stimulation. And perfectly marvelous too is her perfect agreement to be just as still as a mouse when I'm giving my novel a whirl. Now I've a highly agreeable life with my perfectly beautiful room, with my nearly invisible, perfectly marvelous girl. Oh, it's the taxi man. Hello, taxi man. Before today, I'll unpack later. Things do accumulate. After I'm most of it away tomorrow, I promise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's really not much point counting. I never remember how many there's supposed to be. Would you let me have 3 months? That includes the tip. Thank you. So quite seriously, Cliff, please may I stay?
Sally, I can't afford to
Only
have...
for a day or two, please.
I met this truly remarkable girl